So we're going to talk about nominal and standard group techniques in decision making. Our situation today is a parking situation on campus. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is because I'm not on campus, but I'm just going to assume that there's not enough parking. First, the nominal technique. It takes more of the members' consideration into account. It gives everybody a chance to share their ideas more, explain what their problems are. So the steps are, first you explain the problem to the group. Tell them, there's not enough parking, you've gotten a lot of complaints, stuff like that. Just explain the problem. Then generate ideas is the second step. So what we would do is you'd hand out pieces of paper, have everybody write down their ideas for a couple minutes, or just have them think about it in their head without anybody group discussing it, so everybody can get a chance to think of what they want to say and what they want to get out there. Then everybody's going to share their ideas. Instead of one person talking and people asking them questions back and forth, what I would do is I would go around to each person and let them state their opinions, and then the fourth step would be group decision. And at that point, I think everybody would be able to make comments on what's going on and what other people thought, everything like that. Then fifth and last step would be voting. The group as a whole would vote and decide which is the best way to go about the situation. That is taking more into consideration the group as a whole. When the standard is a more logical way of thinking, it's a lot of evidence, and in the workbook it talks about graphs and stuff like that, trying to come up with a solution to the problem. So the standard solution, what's the problem? Same as the first one. Explain the situation to everybody, tell them what's going on so everybody understands. And instead of generating ideas this time and everybody explaining what the problems are, at this point you come up with hard evidence, logical evidence that something's wrong. Things like more students are complaining about the parking situation, come up with numbers. More tickets given on campus for parking in wrong spots or illegally or whatnot. More students are late to class, stuff like that. So you have hard evidence letting them know that something's wrong and something needs to be done about the situation. Criteria. You need to set factors in this one. So in the parking situation, it might be you can only park in a certain parking lot if you have class between 8 and 12 there, then at 12:30 you need to make sure you're out of that parking lot. Or you have to have a certain GPA to park in the parking lot at school, or else you have to take the shuttle. If you have 5 classes that you're taking, you might get priority to somebody who's only taking 1. Then, as a group, you would brainstorm. Talk about the problem, but it's more of looking at the evidence, looking at what the problems are, and instead of people giving their opinions. This is the more logical way of decision making. And then after that, you make your decision as a group, and then you monitor the solution and make sure that it's working out okay. In my opinion, I would probably go more with the nominal way of group thinking because it's using collaborating, which was a certain style of communication that we talked about in this section. Collaborating, it's letting everybody address their ideas and come up with solutions together as a group. But what I would take from the standard technique is the monitoring part at the end. I think that the nominal situation would work great, but I think that taking the monitoring and making sure that the solution works so that you can either come up with a new solution or just be happy and talk to your group, letting them know that it did work out and that you guys are making progress. So that's what I would do.